It just seems like a pair of absolute weapons-grade narcissists.
What he's alleging is true. She sounds like an absolute nightmare.
This woman, this mad hatter who no sane man would go near with a 10-foot barge pole, it is so offensive and so ridiculous.
Blake Lively completely unraveled after Piers Morgan shredded her live on air, tearing into her sad attempts to spin the narrative and deceive the public. Did she really expect everyone to just nod along and swallow her version of events? The internet saw right through her charade, and now she's facing the fallout.
To take over and hijack the movie, and when she didn't get her way, she brought her much richer, more successful and powerful husband in to lay down the law.
Let's be honest, Piers barely had to lift a finger. Blake practically gift-wrapped the takedown for him. What started as a courtroom brawl between Lively and Justin Baldoni has spiraled into one of the most humiliating celebrity implosions in years. Piers exposed her double standards, her cartoonish PR stunts, and her desperate grasp for control, all without breaking a sweat.
Baldoni, by the sounds of things, got completely shafted in this one, so if all of this is true, he's 100% justified in suing her.
At this point, Blake's biggest threat isn't even the courtroom, it's the court of public opinion. She's not just getting crushed in front of a judge, she's being publicly dismantled online. With hundreds of millions in lawsuits looming, you'd think she'd stay quiet. But nope. She's going all in on bad PR tactics while still trying to pose as the wounded, misunderstood heroine.
If even only half of what he's saying is true, Blake Lively is a complete nightmare.
And the public? Not fooled. The legal filings alone paint a damning picture, none of it flattering to Blake. Then came that laughable Hollywood Reporter cover, the slingshot illustration aimed at Baldoni. It screamed desperation. Her strategy? A total collapse. Instead of looking bold and brave, she came off like a power-obsessed diva on a rampage. And the internet dragged her accordingly.
Seems insurmountable. It seems like this case cannot be settled.
Piers Morgan saw right through the act, and he didn't hold back. He scorched her, calling out the ridiculous transformation from beloved starlet to Hollywood's reigning queen of delusion. Honestly? Hard to argue. Blake built her whole brand on being the effortlessly cool, likable blonde next door, and now that image is in ashes.
This is an actress that was hired to be in the film, and yet she's asking the director, who's also her lead, for the cuts and the edits, and she's decided to take over the wardrobe, and she gets to choose her wardrobe and they pay for it. That's unprecedented. No one's ever heard of that.
The moment she got caught playing media puppet master, the whole act came crashing down. The kicker? The same press she once tried to charm is now dismantling her. Even Taylor Swift, her so-called ride or die, backed out the moment she realized Blake had dragged her name into this legal circus. Swift saw the storm coming and ran.
The more I think stain on all your gruesome houses, the publicists involved, the actors involved, everybody involved seems to be absolutely horrible.
That's the thing, Blake really thought she had Hollywood wrapped around her finger. She assumed the industry would rally behind her like obedient puppets, because let's face it, a lot of people in Hollywood will say anything for a good PR hit. But not this time. The receipts are brutal, the contradictions are blatant, and her manipulation tactics are painfully obvious. Watching her scramble now? Honestly, it's just sad.
I can imagine how many people in the past have been victim to the kind of stunts that Blake Lively and her husband have pulled, now apparently in conjunction with Taylor Swift, who has oddly decided to distance herself from the couple, which is an interesting development.
But nothing, and I mean nothing, topped the comedy of Piers Morgan dismantling her live on air. His takedown was surgical. First, he called her a weapons-grade narcissist, which might be the most accurate diagnosis we've heard yet. She wanted sympathy, she got scorched.
That Justin Baldoni and the producer tried to sexually harass this woman, this mad hatter who no sane man would go near with a 10-foot barge pole. It is so offensive and so ridiculous. I mean, I urge everyone to just read through everything that Justin Baldoni
Let's not forget, these two were gushing over each other for months. Then the second Blake didn't get her way, she flipped the narrative like a switch and started tossing around accusations like they were party favors. The fakery couldn't be more obvious.
It seems like a pair of absolute weapons grade narcissist.
And then there's the Ryan Reynolds dragon debacle, hands down the most unintentionally hilarious twist in this whole circus. Blake literally referred to her husband as a dragon, like she was summoning some fire-breathing fairy tale beast to destroy Baldoni. But the irony? She's the one going up in flames. She tried to spin it into some feminist revenge saga, and ended up starring in a comedy instead.
None of this was ever about making a good film. It was about power. It was about power. And now that power is backfiring. They try to play it out in the public. That didn't work. They don't want Justin playing it out in the public. The only way Blake and Ryan could salvage what's left of their reputation, which they don't even realize, I truly don't think they realize how reviled they are.
Now let's get into the straight-up lies. Leaked messages show Blake privately praising Baldoni's work, even thanking him for his creative input. Meanwhile, in public, she's painting him as the evil mastermind in a discount Lifetime movie. The cognitive dissonance is unreal.
And she has the audacity to call her husband and Taylor Swift her dragons, and that Justin Baldoni and the producer tried to sexually harass.
And people caught on fast. Social media erupted with questions. Why did Blake demand control over wardrobe, scripts, even production, when she wasn't the director? Like, girl, are you starring in the film or staging a coup? Pick a lane.
They're mad at Justin for releasing the full context of those texts. It makes
And
no
the worst
sense.
part of all of this,
Then came the final dagger, Piers' ultimate prediction. In his signature savage tone, he guessed that Blake would soon turn on Ryan Reynolds himself. And honestly, he might be right. When everything starts falling apart, she'll need someone else to blame, and if sacrificing her husband buys her even a sliver of public sympathy, Blake wouldn't hesitate for a second.
Lively dropped a lawsuit with all his texts, cherry-picked those texts, removed emojis and like intent and backstory to these texts.
literally outright deleted certain sections of the text.
Yeah.
At this point, Blake Lively's reputation is dangling by a thread, and Piers Morgan just cut it clean with a pair of metaphorical scissors. And honestly, she earned every second of that takedown. Blake actually believed she could fabricate a lawsuit and march into court like the lead in some feminist revenge fantasy. But real life isn't a CW melodrama, and the receipts don't lie. She accused Justin Baldoni of misconduct and expected blind loyalty from the public, just because she's Blake.
They don't even realize, I truly don't think they realize how reviled they are. I don't think they realize they're losing.
But her so-called evidence crumbled faster than her image. Baldoni didn't flinch. He hit back with a 179-page countersuit that torched every one of her claims and exposed the ugly truth behind her desperate power play. It wasn't just a rebuttal, it was a legal annihilation.
She was trying to take charge of a situation. You could put the period there. She was not uncomfortable.
You could do it with either lens.
The documents? A disaster for Blake. She got caught demanding 2 full years of Baldoni's private records, not just emails related to the film, but his entire digital footprint. That's not what someone does when they have evidence. That's what someone does when they're hoping to find it. If her case had any merit, she'd have focused on the relevant timeline, not gone on a fishing expedition.
If they did something that no litigious celebrity has ever done, which is come out and be like, we made a mistake. Suing someone is a nightmare. It's stressful. It's expensive. It's a life ruiner. And you know what, dude? Even if we're right, it's not worth it.
It's classic Hollywood deflection. When you've got no proof, you dig and hope something ugly turns up. And just when you think this scandal couldn't spiral any further, enter Ryan Reynolds. The poor guy probably regrets every career decision leading to this moment. He started off texting Baldoni sweet nothings like, I just happen to adore you, but the minute Blake flipped the script, Ryan had to pretend he was team wife all along.
Juries don't like liars. Trials are about credibility.
You could practically hear his PR team scrambling in the background, trying to make him look like the loyal, supportive husband, without getting scorched by the flames of Blake's meltdown. But it flopped. Hollywood wasn't buying it. Nobody rallied behind Blake, not directors, not co-stars, not producers. Nothing but silence. And when even the most scandal-hardened industry peers won't defend you, that's when you know it's over.
If they find that she just was dishonest and lied on one single point of evidence in this case, in her testimony, the jury instruction says that they are allowed to discount her entire testimony.
But Blake wasn't done crashing and burning. Enter her PR stunt from hell, possibly the worst promo campaign in modern Hollywood history. She tried to market her film about domestic abuse like it was a fun little girls' trip. Wear florals. Bring your friends, go see the movie, she chirped, like she was advertising a Taylor Swift concert instead of a film about trauma. The backlash? Instant and brutal.
Her testimony won't even count. And that is that's a harsh reality, because if the jury chooses not to listen to anything she has to say, she's the best witness in this case.
And then, it got worse. Because Blake, in her infinite PR wisdom, decided to cross-promote her alcohol brand alongside the movie. Yes, seriously. A film centered on domestic violence, and she's out here selling booze like it's part of a girls' night starter pack. The tone deafness was beyond comprehension.
I don't trust you, Blake. I do not trust you. You have lied too much. You have fudged truths. You are trying to hide so much information that you are like your character in a simple favor, and I can't unsee it.
Even Piers Morgan, a man who has witnessed every celebrity PR disaster under the sun, was speechless. He eviscerated her on air, saying it was like promoting oven mitts while marketing a Holocaust film. Brutal, but he wasn't wrong. It was so absurd, so wildly offensive, that even feminists turned against her. The same crowd that would normally fall over themselves to defend her? This time, they walked away.
The worst part of all of this, she decided to promote a film about domestic violence by flogging her alcohol brand, even though we know that most domestic violence cases are involved drinking by the part of the abuser. And she got her husband's PR company that wasn't signed off by Sony to take over the promotion of the film.
But Blake didn't stop at tone deaf. She went full scorched earth. To make her claims look more credible, she dragged two actresses, Jenny Slate and Isabella Ferrer, into the mud, implying they too had been mistreated on set. The catch? Neither of them ever backed her up. Not once. She threw them under the bus, and they didn't even flinch.